father, Harvey Evans Sr., started the company in 1937 as a manufacturer's rep for sales books, different types of office forms and tags and ribbons, and a little three-room small house that in his bedroom is where he did a lot of his work when it came to the manufacturer's rep business. And then in 1950, he was at Mueller Manufacturing Company trying to sell some sales books or whatever. In the room where he was waiting, he saw a man, and down beside this gentleman was a machine, and my dad was inquisitive enough to go over and ask him what this machine was. He said, well, it's a wide crown stapling machine that is used to close corrugated cartons. So he asked if he could represent him.
And so with that, came some inventory that we put in our two-car garage. With that came a little bit of service, to service the equipment that we sold to drive the staples. And then in 1962, he was able to get a line called pass load. You have to understand, back early before 62, 63, if you wanted to drive a nail into wood, you did it with a hammer and a single nail. And so when this came about, basically it sort of revolutionized some of the construction industry, where you were able to basically drive a nail without having to have a hammer and do it very quickly. And so at that point, as I hear the story, I think Dad went to my brother and said, I can't handle this anymore. I got this huge stack of leads, and they need to be called upon.
So I was the first employee that my dad had. And then my brother Tom came on board in the 60s, and he and I became partners then. And then, of course, Kelly, my son, and TC, my brother's son, now are the owners of the company.
Everybody kind of carries the baton for a certain leg of the race, and I told my father this weekend, actually, when we were talking about it. He was the right man for the job at the right time, and hopefully I'm the right man for this job in my 29th year here. Certainly the risk that those guys took to really propel Harvey Evans Company created a platform for us to really grow, and so my job is to not mess it up.
Our fathers gave us from a business standpoint, and their father gave them a sterling reputation. You can't ask for anything more from a foundation to build off of. The products, the customers, they change. It's not a static thing. But having that foundation to work with has been huge for us.
What he really did, in my opinion, was probably pave the way for showing the rest of the Evanses ultimately through my dad and my uncle, and mentoring how to serve people. My father's long said, companies don't buy from companies, people buy from people.
I had to get a haircut, buy a suit, and get ready to interview. So I interviewed with 3 or 4 companies. Harvey Evans was one of those. And then I hired on, and I started in June of 1976. So I just graduated from college. I was 22, and I thought, man, these guys are old. It's just that I was so young.
I got a phone call from this old man who left a message on my phone and said, would you be interested in a job at Harvey Evans as an operations manager? And I was like, well, who is this? I don't even know who this is. So I went up to Decatur. My husband wasn't thrilled because I was by myself. He's like, you don't even know who you're going to meet. So he went, this is funny, and waited in a Hardee's restaurant. He dropped me off so he would know where I was. I was there for probably 5 hours with them interviewing. They asked me if I wanted to go to lunch. And I was like, and I had to tell him, I said, I can't. My husband's been sitting waiting because he didn't know who you guys were, and he was afraid to just leave me off in another city. So they're like, why didn't you tell us earlier? They went and picked him up, and we all went to lunch together. And that's how I ended up at Harvey Evans. Basically, I've been here for 18 and a half years. They have so many people here that go above and beyond. because it is appreciated, it is recognized, and it is rewarded. It's not just come to work and working for a paycheck. It's like you feel like it's your company and you want to do the best you can do for everybody that works here.
When you take a job, you don't plan on being there for 40 years. Life happens. And the best thing about a company like RV Evans is that everybody knows everybody on a first-name basis. You're not a number, you're a name. And if I need help, I can go to my boss or I can go to the president of the company. And in the old days, I'd say, Dick, I need help. These days, I say, Kelly Evans, I need some help. And, then we'll hash out a plan.
What makes a company or anybody successful is people. Because without those people, we would never be where we are today. And so we feel very blessed that we had the people that we had working for us. Some of them still work for us today, and have really made a big, big impact on how successful we are and where we are.
I think we are so blessed by having wonderful people, good people, hardworking people, and the kind of people that we're very blessed to have them work for our company.
The existing business that we have is going strong. Some of the new salespeople that have come on board are really starting to hit their stride. So future's bright, no doubt.
The fact we've been around 80 years and the fact that we have such a quality organization, earns us a seat at the table of respect, but it doesn't necessarily serve us our next meal. And what we do today and tomorrow ultimately is going to be what helps our customers be successful going forward. So we need to make sure that we recognize where we've been and how valuable those experiences are which formed us and form the way we think. But it's really what we are bringing to the table today, and are we staying relevant, and are we out in front of some of the latest trends in packaging, and are we involved with technology? And the answer is yes to all of the above. So for me, the future is exciting.